Казвам се Майя Цветкова и съм от маркетинг отдела на издателство Клет България и по-специално се занимавам с чуждите езици. Освен английски, знаете, предлагаме и всички останали немски, френски, италиански, испански. Но по-специално сега фокуса ни, разбира се, е английски язик. Днешният ни вебинар е посветен на работата с платформата Cambridge One. А, Предполагам, част от вас са запознати с платформата, друга част не са, но съм сигурна, че с днешния вебинар ще ви помогнем да използвате по-уверено и ефективно платформата. Ще преминем през всички ключови стъпки от регистрацията, добавянето на материали до създаването на класове, задаване на домашни за работа в къщи и проследяване на напредъка на учениците. Все неща, които със сигурност ще ви улеснят работата. Тук с нас е наш колега специален гост наш е колега от Cambridge University Press, Бурак Калачай. Бурак е експерт с богат опит в езиковото образование и технологиите в обучението. Има бакалавърска и магистърска степен по преподаване на английски език. И в момента следва докторантура в сферата на образователната администрация и е в ролята си в момента на координатор на дигиталните услуги към Cambridge University Press and Assessment, като помага на много учебни заведения и не само на нас, дистрибуторите, в работата с платформата и с различни други дигитални решения. И съм сигурна, че ще ви бъде много от полза и интересно. И така, всеки от вас ще получи сертификат за участие, запис от вебинара. Бурак няма да представя презентация, всичко ще бъде онлайн, ще ви представя самата платформа в реално време, така че смело, не се притеснявайте, задавайте въпроси и така давам думата на него, за да не отнемам повече. Включвайте се и в чата и се анмютвате, включвате си камерата и така. Hi, Burak. I'm giving you the word now. I have introduced you a little bit, but of course, I'm giving you this opportunity now.
Thank you so much, Maya. Hi, everyone. I would like to welcome all of you, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sparing your time to us. As Maya said, my name is Burak. I actually began my career as an English teacher and then transferred into a few different universities in Turkey. I became a person who is training teachers. And for the past 4 years, I have actually been working with and for Cambridge University Press as an expert on the digital products and the digital platforms. Briefly speaking, today we will be taking a look at our Cambridge One digital platform, which is in itself a learning management system that is designed to support the print materials that we have, along with giving the opportunity to use standalone digital products. Before I get started, by the way, I will be sharing my screen and we will be doing a complete tour of Cambridge One together. While I'm doing the tour, you can always just open up your browsers on your computers, on your phones, and do what I'm doing. And if there are any questions at any point, just go ahead, either open up your microphones and click on the chat section, write it to me, or just as I said, open up your microphone and share it with me. I'll be more than happy to answer the questions. But of course, towards the end, we will be having a Q&A session as well. Now, let me begin by sharing my screen. And Maya shared the link for Cambridge One, by the way. Thank you so much, Maya. Okay, so, oops, there you go. Okay, so here it is. I believe you can see my screen right now, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cambridge One. This is our digital platform. As I said, our learning management system. The address is, as you can see from the address bar, is www.cambridgeone.org. but you can always just go to Google, type in Cambridge 1, and it's always the first link that pops up. Now, when you come into the website, as you can see, we have two buttons over here, the login button and the sign up button. And as you can see, we also have the language section and the login button over here on the top right-hand corner as well. I will begin by sharing some information on the types of accounts that you can have on the platform, along with how to create one. Now, if you take a look at this section over here, so what I did is I clicked on sign up to have an account for myself. As you can see, we have three types of accounts here. There's a learner account, there is a teacher account, and of course, there is a parent account. Let me briefly tell you what these are. Of course, as teachers, what we do is that we expect you to have yourself a teacher's account. And the idea is that, of course, your students get themselves a learner account. However, please pay attention that it states that a student needs to be older than 16 to be able to have that account. For students who are younger than that, their parents need to create a parent account for themselves. And through their accounts, parents create their learner's student account. So that's basically how it works. And that's basically the only reason why we have a parent account. Now, let me show you how the teacher signing up works. You simply choose the teacher option, the teacher role, click on next, confirm that you want to be a teacher, fill out this form. It's a very basic, very simple, very brief form. First name, last name, work email. It says work email, but it doesn't have to be one. Hotmail, Gmail, Yandex, any type of email actually works. It is just that please make sure that you use an actual functioning email address that you have access to the inbox of, because you will receive an email asking for confirmation. You will click on the verify button, the verification. So you will click on the verify button and your account will be created. And of course, you need to choose the password and you need to state your country. And that's basically it. There is always the option to create your account via your Facebook, Gmail, Google, or Apple accounts. That's also an option if you want to do that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll go into a teacher's account. So we will be taking a look at both roles today, both the teacher and the student. I'll begin with the teacher one. It's the one that, of course, you mostly be needing to know about. But we will also be taking a look at the student one, which is actually, compared to the teacher one, much more simpler. Now, so what we did is we entered our email address, we entered our password, and we clicked on login. By the way, let me tell you that my internet is a little bit slow today. Unfortunately, I'm using my phone's internet, so I may have to ask you to wait a little bit while we are switching pages. So here it is. This is the interface of a teacher's account. As you can see, up on top, we have a toolbar. We have the Cambridge logo, which always takes you to the main page, the main interface page. We have a help section. Anytime that you need any help, simply go to the help center. There is also a guided tour. If you want, you can do that. And we also have some tutorials that you can always complete by yourself. These are interactive tutorials. We have a notification section, as you can see. And we also have a short menu over here, a drop-down menu. You can make changes on your profile by going on to the My Profile section. You can join a school. We will talk about this briefly. For now, I'll just skip that. You can download our app. We have an application that we call the desktop app. Right now, it works with Windows, Linux, and Mac devices. No Android, no iOS support yet, but we will have it soon. And of course, you also have your logout button. Now, when it comes to navigation on the platform, now this is the main part. As you can see, we have a greeting message over here. It says, hi, demo teacher. Of course, this is my demo account, so this is why it greets me like that. However, in my original account, it says, hi, Burak. So it will greet you the same with your name. Right below that, as you can see, we have three sections: my training, my library, my classes. These three sections are the main sections through which you navigate in the platform. I will begin with My Training. Now, My Training is a section that is specifically designed for teachers. Only teachers have access to this. The students do not have any access to this section. And I'll scroll down a little bit. Please ignore this My Professional Development part. These are some trainings that have been started but are not finished. Normally, with your accounts, with your teacher's accounts, the first thing that you will see will be these two sections: development courses and teacher support. Now, all of these pictures over here, they represent a training, an interactive training. So the division is that, as you can see, the development courses are basically professional development courses that are focused on improving the skills of English language teachers, such as lesson planning, classroom management, teaching mixed ability classes, etc. The teacher support section, however, focuses on giving you tips and tricks and helping you understand the best practices with the titles, with the books that we offer. So, for example, let's say that you're using Empower, or let's say that you're using Power Up. What you can do is you can always come to the My Training section, scroll down to the teacher support section, click on Teaching with Power Up, and complete that training, as I said, to get a little bit insight on the best practices of using Power Up with your students. Now, all of these trainings, they take about, like 2 to 4 hours. This one is a little bit longer. It's a 5-hour one. They're all interactive, not videos, not just videos or not just texts. They're all interactive. And you don't have to complete them in one sit, by the way. They do take, as I said, from 2 hours to 4 hours, but you don't have to complete them in one sit. You can just complete it a little bit, like pause, come back later. There's always that option. And they're all self-study, so you complete them by yourself. One nice thing is they are graded automatically, of course. There is a score from 0 to 100, along with a pass and fail. So in order to pass, you need to get a score above 80. And if you pass, if you get a score above 80, you get an actual authentic certificate from Cambridge that is electronically signed to your name. One final thing that I should probably mention is that the teacher support section, these trainings over here are completely free to all teachers. However, these ones over here, the development courses, some of them are free, some of them are paid. That's why you have this little button here. If there is any training that you're interested in, you can simply click on it. You will see whether it's free or paid. And you can always visit our shop if you're interested in any of them, or you can always reach out to Maya. I believe she will also be able to help you with those trainings. Now,
Burak,
yeah,
can I just ask about this, because I'm also looking through development courses after the finishing after finishing the course, the teacher receives some certificate.
they do. They do. They do receive an electronic certificate to their name, and they are electronically signed. They are authentic signatures, by the way, electronically signed, not just like logos on PDFs. As I said, they're electronically signed, authentic certificates. They can always go ahead and complete one of those free ones, and they will see what kind of a certificate they get. And if they're interested in any paid ones, that will give them an insight and an example on what kind of a certificate they get.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Okay, now let me see. Do we have any questions? I'm just going to quickly check. No questions so far. So as I said before, if you have any questions, just please go ahead, type it down to the chat section, or open up your microphones and ask them right away. As I said before, I'm always happy to answer them. Now, moving on to the second section, which is My Library. Okay, so I will pause a little bit here and go back to the to what I said in the beginning of my session. As I said before, we have 3 types of accounts, right? 3 types of rules: a teacher one, a student one, and a parent one. Teachers need a teacher's account. Students need a student account. If your student is younger than 16, either you as the teacher or a parent need to create an account for the student. Now, besides having an account, every user, besides the parents, of course, every user needs one more thing, which is an activation code. In this section over here, in our library, we give you a brief look to basically all of the ELT products that we offer as Cambridge. And to every teacher, the digital practice activities. I just want to repeat that. The digital practice activities only of every book is free to access. Every teacher has access to this without paying anything. So if you, what you can do is you can just go ahead, open up a teacher's account for yourself. And as I said, the practice activities of all of these books will be free for you to access. Now, to be able to access all of the components of a specific book, so for example, cover. To be able to access all of the components of a specific level of power up, you need a code. Students use a student code, teachers use a teacher's code. The way to get those codes is that we have these codes imprinted into the inner cover pages of our print books. But besides that, you can always reach out to our partner and ask for their help in getting a code. Now, what do these codes offer? What do they give you? Let's choose a random level. For example, level. As I said, I'm using my phone's internet, so it's a little bit slow from time to time. So when you enter a code, when you activate all of the materials of a book, what you get access to is a set of extra components, is what we call them. One of them being Presentation Plus, another one Practice Extra, Test Generator, Teacher Resources, and Class Audio. Of course, these ones are for teachers. Students get access to different types of components. We will talk about that as well. Now, what is Presentation Plus? Presentation Plus is what we call a smart board application. It's basically your book in electronic format, but it's interactive. Any audio that's required to play, you can play it directly from Presentation Plus. Any video, you can play it directly from it. Any print activity can be turned into an interactive digital version directly from the app. As you can see, for Power Up specifically, we have the online and the downloadable versions. What I'm going to do is I'll show you the online version right now, but both of them are exactly the same. With some titles, we only have the online version available. With some titles, we have both online and offline versions available. Now, pay attention. Now, this is Presentation Plus. Pay attention that we have two toolbars. Up on top, we have one toolbar. On the bottom, we have another one. The top toolbar lets you choose between different components of the print book. So there is your pupils book. You click on activity book and it switches to the activity book. We have access to our teacher's book. Some of you may know that PowerUp comes with print flashcards. We have those flashcards in digital format as well, along with audio files. And you have games, since this is a primary title. All of these games that you see over here, they can be played directly from the Presentation Plus app. We also have some useful links if we think they're useful. It's those ones over here. Now, going back to the pupils book. Before we go ahead with the content of the book, I'll show you the bottom toolbar as well. On the bottom toolbar in the middle, as you can see, we have some simple tools such as, show in single pages, show in double pages, zoom in on a specific part, zoom out, zoom in, or fit to the screen. On the right hand corner, bottom corner over here, we have a timer. If you want, you can use these in the class, or if you're having online classes, of course, you can always use that in online classes as well with your students. On the left corner, we have, let me move this. On the left corner, we have the table of contents, which gives you the option to just switch between units with just a few clicks, like that. Okay. So as you can see right now, this is Power Up level 2, I think it was, right? Okay, sorry, this is level 3. We are in the beginning of the second unit of Power Up level 3, unit 2. And pay attention that on the pages there are some buttons. So for example, here we have an activity, right? And here we have a very small button over here, a cursor button. Let me zoom in a little bit. So what it does is that, as I said before, each print activity, so each activity that can be found on the book actually has an interactive digital version as well. This is how you access them. So here is our activity. Since this is a listening activity, this is the type of thing that you do with it. Let's just choose a different one. So here is another one. This is a matching activity. Let's click on the interactive version. So here it is. Just going to do it randomly. What I can do is that I can use this to check my answers. So I got 2 out of 4, but I can always use this as an answer key as well. So here it is. Okay. One other thing is that, as I said before, if there is an audio or if there is a video that is required to complete an activity, you can play it directly from the Presentation Plus app. So this activity has an audio, right? And here we have these headphones logo over here. What I do is I click on it, and here is the audio. I am not sure if I'm sharing my computer audio right with you right now, but of course, when I click on it, it plays the audio.
Yes, we can hear.
Oh, okay, perfect. So let me just move it a little bit then. And what I can do is I can always open up the transcript. Right? And show it to my students. And as I said before, if there is a video, I can always click on the video logo, the play logo over here, and the video will pop up, and I'll be able to show it to my students. And that's how the Presentation Plus app works. Any questions so far? Okay. If there are any questions, just please, as I said, go ahead, open up your microphones and ask it away. Or you can always type it down to the chat. Okay. So now, the second thing that we have is Practice Extra. Let me briefly show you what this is and tell you what it is. Practice Extra is basically a set of activities. These are completely different from the ones that you have in your book, by the way. They are extra. And these are digital only, and they are digitally assignable. I'll show you how to assign those as well in a few minutes. But what it does is basically is that you assign those to your students digitally, and your students complete them by using their, like phones, computers, etc. And they are automatically graded, and you get the reports for it. Let me show you just 1 or 2 examples. So here we have Unit 1, practice time, right? It's divided into 2 sections, Lesson 1, Lesson 2. Under Lesson 1, we have, for example, a story activity. As I said, you can assign this to your students, like that. Each activity goes in steps. As you can see, this one is a 5-step one. Since this is a story one, by the way, there is a video for the students to watch. So that's what they need to do first, of course. They watch this, they complete those 5 questions, and they submit it to you. And you simply get the report on the correct answers or the wrong answers. So this is what we call Practice Extra. As I said, I'll show you how to assign those in a few minutes. Now, going back, we have a test generator. I'll tell you what this is briefly. This needs to be downloaded and it works offline. What test generator is that it's basically a pool of questions, of course, that completely corresponds to the content of the book. And it gives you 2 options. You can either manually or automatically create an exam for yourself. Depending on your needs, you can choose the difficulty of the questions. You can choose the questions one by one if you want. There are reading sections, listening sections, writing sections. As far as I remember, for Power Up, there is no speaking section. As I said, you need to download this, and it takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to just leave this to you for now. You can check this by yourselves when you get your accounts. But it's an app, as I said, it's an app that lets you create your own exams for yourself. The next thing that we have is teacher resources. Teacher resources are basically audio files, video files, downloadable guides, such as, for example, the teacher's book. We already offer the print teacher's book, of course, but you can always just download the PDF version of it. This is where you find it. Teachers resources, these are basically sets of worksheets that you can download, photocopy, and share with your students. Let me show you. As an example. So as you can see over here, there are some sections for you as a teacher, of course, but for each unit, we offer photocopyable worksheets that you can just photocopy and share with your students. There are the audio files for it as well. We offer the home booklet in print format, but it's always available in PDF format as well. Quiz videos, additional resources. There is an acknowledgement section and videos and animation. These are also downloadable. And of course, by the way, I'm showing these to you, but please remember that from title to title, the content changes. For example, we have another book that we call Empower. It's an adult book. For Empower, we specifically have video activity sheets. Those can be only found in the platform. There are tons of videos that the students can watch, along with accompanying photocopiable PDF video worksheets. For PowerUp, the final thing that we have is plus audio. So as I said, these components, the content changes from book to book. So please remember that some things that always are present though is the presentation plus, the practice extra, and of course the teacher resources. Now, and that's my library. That's how we access the components, the materials, the content of our books. One thing I may have forgotten, I do remember telling you that you need a code. And as I said, the code is in the inner cover page, or you get it from your educational consultant or our partner in your country. The way to activate it is that here is the button. So activate materials, right? You simply click on this, enter the 16-digit code, and your book, the content of your book, the components of your book gets activated. Any questions about that? No? Okay.
I just want to ask one thing. I probably know the answer, but you said that the components and the resources are different depending on the system or on the textbook. But
Yeah.
basically, every teacher code gives you access to the presentation plus, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the practice extra, is it?
It is also, yes. So a few things are always there. Presentation Plus is always there for basically every book we have it. Practice Extra, the name may change. With some of them we call it the digital workbook. With some of them we call it the Practice Extra, but it's always there. There are always assignable activities. Let me show you one example. I think that's a very good example. So Empower, this is one of our adult books. I'll go ahead with the elementary version. So let's take a look at the content of this one. So Presentation Plus, it's here. So instead of Practice Extra, we have digital workbook, right?
Yes.
This is a little bit more comprehensive book. The content of it's a little bit more, how would you say? There are more things to do with this book, right? So we have some extension activities. These are, again, extra digital activities. So remember that with PowerUp, we had test generator. With this one, we have pre-prepared exams only. So unit progress tests, competency tests, speaking test materials, marking instructions, PDF unit progress tests and competency tests, and again, teacher resources. As I said, three things are always there: Presentation Plus, assignable digital activities, and teacher resources. These are always there, but the extra stuff, it may change.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me show you actually one more example, just so that you can understand, like there are differences between the components of the books. OVNIT is one of our secondary segment books. So pay attention that Practice Extra is here, Presentation Plus is here, Teacher Resource Bank. So this is the teacher resources, it's here. For this one, we have something that we call Collaboration Plus, Test Generator, eBooks, and Combo eBooks. So as I said, the components, they change. Okay. Now,
Excuse me, Can I
Yes,
ask,
yes, please.
how do you assign to the students these exercises to the students?
That's a very good question, and that's the next thing that I'm going to be talking about.
Okay. I'm
Yep.
sorry. And
No,
they
no, no,
have
no,
to
no.
be, they must have accounts, right? In order
Yes,
to do
yes,
that.
they do.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
they do. All of our teachers. Okay, let me go into the My Classes section real quick. So each teacher has this section as well, the My Classes section. Remember that in the beginning, I told you that you need a teacher's account, your student needs a student account. You, as the teacher, need to activate your teacher's book, teacher's materials. Your students need to activate their student book, so students' materials, right? So you got your accounts, you activated your books. You can access the website, you can use everything. But what we need next is that we need to bring the teacher and the students together. The way we do that is we have virtual classrooms. So for every teacher, we have the My Classes section through which they can create virtual classrooms for themselves. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll click on Create a Class. I'm going to give it a name. I'll just call it Demo Class. Let's call it Webinar. That's what I'm going to call it for now. I choose a starting date for my class. I choose an ending date for my class. And the final section, the fourth line that you can see over here says my private teaching. We haven't spoken about it yet. I will briefly mention that. But we also have a virtual school option. For now, we will just do this as my private teaching, me as an individual teacher running the course. What I do is I click on next. Now, then in the next step, I need to choose my book. So of course we have a class, right? But which book is going to be used in that one? Is it going to be Omnit, Power Up, Empower? What is it going to be? I click on Add Materials. For this specific one, again, I'll go ahead with Power Up. By the way, I don't know if I said that, but Power Up is one of our primary segment titles. So it's a primary level book. I'll click on Add Class. So as you can see right now in this class, I will be using Power Up Level 3. I can add multiple books to a class, but there are two restrictions. One of them is that they need to be same segment. So if the first book that I add is a primary book, the second, the third, the fourth books that I add need to be primary books. The second restriction is that they need to be the same level. So Power Up level 3 is around like A1 plus A2. So the following books that I add need to be in the same level as well, A1 plus A2. The platform will restrict these for me. For now, for this class, I'm just going to go ahead with Power Up level 3, nothing else. Click on Finish. And now my class is created. So now I'll go to the dashboard, my main page. And here I am in my classes. And here is the class, the virtual classroom that I created, demo class webinar. Now pay attention that under the, in the box, right under the book that I have chosen, I have three buttons. I have the materials button, assignments button, and the class data button. Now the materials button is very simple. It simply takes me to the materials of the book that I have chosen. So that for Power Up, it's the ones that we were just taking a look at, the presentation plus practice extra, test generated teacher resources, etc. We have already seen those. I'll go back. Oops, let me just refresh it. Okay, yeah. So the second button is that I have an assignments button. Now that's the section how I assign the through which I assign the activities. Let's click on it. So as you can see, under the assignments section for demo class webinar, right now it says that I have no assignments, which means that I have not given any assignments, any homework to my students. What I would like to do is I'd like to give them a homework. So let's say that, for example, we finished the third unit, right? And we want our students to do some digital activities at home. So what I do is I click on Create Assignment. The way this screen works is that this left hand section, this column over here, is basically a list of the activities that I can choose from. And this main section over here, the right-hand section, is the preview of the activity. So remember that we said that we finished Unit 3. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead with Unit 3. Under Unit 3, I have two sections, Lesson 1, Lesson 2. Let's open these up. So as a teacher right now, I'm just reviewing the activities, nothing else. I'm just checking them. I'll click on vocabulary 2. So here is the activity. Remember that it goes in steps. I'm just checking them randomly to see if it suits my students. There is a video. My students need to watch it. After they watch it, they answer the questions. Okay, so it's a 6, 7, 8, 9 level, 9-step activity. I like it as a teacher. Let's say that I want my students to do this as well. What I do is I check the box. Go ahead into a different one. I check this one. If I like it, I simply check the box. So this is lesson 1. There are 7 activities. In lesson 2, there are 5 activities. Let's go ahead with this literature one. I'm curious to see what it has. So I'll choose this one as well, the literature one. Pay attention that I have chosen 1, 2, 3 activities. And on the bottom left-hand corner, it says 3 selected. So right now I have chosen 3 activities for my students to complete. I'm ready. I want to assign those to my students. I click on Next. I give my assignment a name, Demo Homework Webinar. That's what I'm going to name it. There is my starting date. It's today and right now. I'll choose a due date. Let's say that it's the 31st of March, right? When I'm ready, I click on Assign. Right now, my students receive a notification saying that they have 3 activities to complete until the 31st of March. And I exit. That's how I assign the activities, the content. Now, I have assigned it, but remember that my students, they have their accounts, they activated their books, but they are not in my class right now. So for them to be able to receive this homework, this notification, they actually need to be in my class. So that's the next thing that I'm going to be talking about. For me to be able to add my students to my class, there are 2 ways to do it. The first one is that I simply come to the class data section. I click on Add Students. If they're children, I can just choose children. If they are adults, I can choose adults. What I do is if they are children, I enter their usernames. If they are adults, I enter their email addresses, and I invite them to my classes. However, one other thing that I can do is I can share this key with my students. So it's an 8-digit key. It's called a class key. Whoever has this key as a student, of course, can join my class by simply entering it. So that's what I'm going to show now. So this is my Chrome browser. I'm just going to go ahead and open up a new browser. It's Microsoft Edge. And I'll go to Cambridge 1. And I'll go into a student's account. It will also give me the chance to show you a student's account. Okay, let me log out from this so that I can show you from the beginning. Okay, so here I am again in the main page of Cambridge 1. Here is my sign up button, login button. I'll click on login. So here is my credentials, my username, my password. This is going to be for the student account. I entered my credentials as a student. I clicked on login. Now this is what the students see. Remember that with teachers, we had 3 sections, my classes, my library, my training. For the students, it's only this page. And on this page, there are 3 things that I can show you. The join a class button, we'll talk about this. Add materials button, again, we'll talk about this. And then my independent learning. As you can see, this student has lots of books already activated. The way this student did that is by entering a 16-digit book codes to this section, the Add Materials section. A student, when they log into their accounts, need to click on the Add Materials button, and need to enter their book codes, 16-digit book codes. Once they do that, what they basically achieve is that they get access to the content of the book. Now, the reason why it says my independent learning is because right now this student is not a member of any class. Remember that as a teacher, we had created a demo class, right? We called it demo class webinar, and we want this student, demo student, to become a student in the webinar class. So what I do is, as a teacher, I share my class code, my class key with that student. I'm just going to copy it. I copied it. Now, back to my student account. As I said, the student also has a join a class button. So the student clicks on join a class button, enters the 8-digit key, clicks on join. And now this student, this demo student, became a student in my demo class webinar. And here it is. Remember that we had assigned this class, this group of students, 3 activities. Pay attention that right now in my homework, it says that there is 1 homework. Let's click on it. And here they are, 0 out of 3 completed. So these 3 activities, they haven't been completed by the student yet. If the student clicks on it, they see the activities and then they can complete them. Let's complete them real quick. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you a report as well. Okay, so we got 2 out of 12. Not a good score, of course, but it will do the job, right? So right now, this student completed one of those 3 assigned activities. Now, I'll go back to my teacher's account. And here is my teacher's account. Let's go back to the main page. And remember that we had 3 buttons. We had the materials button, assignments button. This is how we assign the homework to them. And we also have a class data button. Let's click on class data. Class data is the section where I see my students and basically what they did, the reports that I receive when they do something. So pay attention that right now I have 1 student over here, the demo student, right? And this student is using PowerUp Level 3. And in PowerUp Level 3, there are 111 activities. This student only completed 1 of them. Of course, he wasn't a successful student, so he didn't get any gold medals. So far, this student has not spent even 1 whole minute in the system. However, with the activities that he completed, he got an average score of 17. To see more details, I can simply click on this button. Gives me a little bit more information. Over here on this one. One final thing that I can do is I can always use this actions button in class data to create reports for myself. So if I come to this section, the manage reports section, I can simply click on create reports, choose the type of report that I need. So summary, detailed data, daily data. These are all downloaded in Excel sheets, by the way. Choose it whether it's from the beginning of the class or a custom date range. Click on submit, and my report gets created. As you can see, the report is created now. I can download it. However, of course, it won't have much information since we only have 1 student and that 1 student only completed 1 activity. And that's how assigning and reporting works.
Can I ask you
Yes, please, Maya.
if the student have missed the end date and time?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Can she do it after?
They can, unless the teacher locks out the activities, the students always have access to the activities. However, when they do it late, the teacher will receive a notification and also an asterisk in the report stating that that specific student did a late delivery. One other thing, of course, a teacher can always do is that if a homework is given, if an assignment is given, a teacher can always make changes on that assignment. So here we are in the assignment section. Here is the homework that we have assigned. There is those three buttons over here. You click on it. You click on change due date. You can always change the due date for an activity as a teacher if you want. But yes, a student can always do the activities late. They will still have access unless the teacher locks them out. The way to do that, by the way, let me briefly show you, is through the materials section. So here it is, manage student access. If you have students in your class for that specific class, you can always lock out or unlock activities for them.
Yeah.
Okay. There is one final thing I would like to mention. Now, remember that in the beginning of the session, we said that there were three types of accounts, right? There is a student one, learner. There is a teacher one. There is the parent one. There is a fourth type of account that we have, which we call an admin account. I'm not going to show it to you right now. I'll just briefly tell you what it is. We give access, well, we grant the admin rights to teachers who reach out to us specifically for the administratorship of a virtual school. So the way to do that is, as you can see on this menu over here, there is a join a school button. If you click on this one, if you know that your school already exists, you can enter the school key that you have, and you can become a teacher of that school. However, if your school is not created, you can request a school from us, share the information of your school with us, and we create a virtual school for you. What the admin can do with that school account is that they can manage all the classes, all the virtual classes in that school. Remove or add students to the classrooms in that school, remove or add teachers to the specific school, and also check or add materials to students of that specific school. We also have the admin account, just to let you know, but that's not going to be a topic for us today. And I believe this is it.
Burak, thank you very much. It was very useful. It was really step by step. I learned also new stuff. Yeah, it was very useful for me, and I hope that for all of us it was. So
Happy to hear that, Maya. It was a pleasure to be here with you all, and thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for listening. Also, thank you for the questions. Take very good care of yourselves. It was a pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you, Burak. Have a nice evening to everyone. Bye.
Have a nice evening, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.